So, welcome to this session today. This is week 6 of the Rewire for Health meditation campaign. If you're just joining in today, then I heartily recommend that you go back to the very beginning and check out the introductory video and the subsequent 2 weekly sessions per week. Within each video you have some guidance and you've also got a recorded meditation. So there's a short beginning of the week meditation, usually they were done on a Monday, and then on a Friday there was a half-hour session with a little bit of learning, and then usually 2 sits. I'm really thrilled that you've taken the time to invest in yourself. Meditation for me has been a real game changer. It's incredibly helpful, and at the same time it's the most straightforward and easy tool that you will ever learn. It's not something that has been heavily promoted, certainly not in my lifetime, but nowadays we're beginning to recognize, because we have the scientific proof of how meditation can impact us. Physically, we can become more relaxed, we can help release tension in the body. Mentally, we can get an understanding of how our mental activity works and how crazy our minds are. And it can help us to cultivate this witness state, which allows us to know that we're not our thoughts and that we can almost step back or observe the thoughts before we just get pulled into whatever story it's trying to take us to. And usually the thoughts are taking us into the past, something that's from our history, or into the future, which is just a fantasy. With meditation, we're learning how to stay in the present moment, because that's the beauty of the practice. It's so simple. When we stay in the present moment, we can be more open to what is, and we can make decisions in a more compassionate way. This campaign is called Rewire for Health because over the course of the 40 days that we've been doing this journey together, our brains will slowly have been rewiring from the part of the brain that is more reactive to the more compassionate part of the brain. And if we continue with the practice, then that will only strengthen and embed that response system. Emotionally, it's quite a trying time for the community at large at the moment with the COVID-19 pandemic. And there was an awful lot of uncertainty in the community around me and a lot of stress and strain. So this was my way of being able to offer something so we could stay a little bit more emotionally resilient and hopefully a bit more balanced. And if we can learn these skills at a time like this, then it's going to be easier for us when we're in our day-to-day habits, when things maybe don't go quite as we want them to, or we're just trying to be a little bit more grounded and a bit more settled, more like our normal self. Energy-wise, meditation can help us stay more balanced. And then spiritually, you might find that as you do your daily sit, you become aware of a sense of maybe just or spaciousness exists between the thoughts. And then when you are in that space, how might that feel? That spaciousness for many people might be the beginning of questions about what they're doing, or maybe it might link into their spiritual practice that they already have, or maybe you might just get a sense of maybe there's something else and the connection that we all share. We'll all have our own reasons for starting to meditate, but one thing that really kind of helps me, particularly if I'm having a time when I'm feeling quite challenged, is I know that whenever I do a sit, whatever time of day, there will be someone else, somewhere else in the world meditating at exactly the same time. And that means that we're not alone. We know that inherently we're always connected with other people. But this is a practice that is carried out everywhere. So, when you come to do your sit, you can think about maybe having that connection with someone else, either in your community, in your home, or in another continent. Again, we're all connected. So this is about concentration and attention. Today, we're going to put that to the test slightly, and we're going to do the longest sit that we've done so far. So my practice that I do a 20-minute time sit, usually every morning. Sometimes I do it twice a day. So I will be the timekeeper and I will guide you through. I'll use different prompts and there will be moments of quietness. So in those moments of quietness, just allow yourself to settle and soak into the experience. So let's begin this sit. I want you to make sure that you're comfortable, ideally with your feet flat on the floor, barefoot or with socks on. Give yourself a wriggle so your legs feel that they're comfortable and that your pelvis is comfortably sitting. If it feels better for you, you could always have a cushion at the back of the pelvis just to tilt it forward slightly, but you're looking for a slight forward tilt of the pelvis and the spine wants to be tall. So imagine maybe a string from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head and beyond. Your eyes can be open with a soft gaze down the bridge of the nose, or I invite you, if it's comfortable, to close your eyes gently. You're doing this practice in your own space, so if it doesn't feel like the right time to do it, then you might just want to listen and do the practice later. Arms here resting. Placing the palms on the thighs for the moment. And then we're going to turn the hands over so the back of the hands rest on the thighs. We're going to touch the pads of the first finger, so your index finger and your thumb together. And if it's comfortable, bring the remaining 3 fingers together like they sandwich together and they're active. When we first start, that might not be possible, so just allow them to be as close to that as is comfortable for you. So here we go. Settling into the sit, feeling the foundations at the feet, feeling the support from the chair, and just getting a sense of the length of your spine and the point of the crown of the head, just gently floating upwards. Allow the jaw to be relaxed here, so just let the jaw rest loose in the face, no biting or grinding of teeth involved. And allow the tongue to rest for the moment on the bottom of the mouth. Soft tongue, soft mouth, soft face. And inviting the back of the neck to be long, so the back of the head just gently teases upward just a little. And here we begin the sit. So initially just noticing what you're aware of in the space that you've chosen to do your practice today. Notice where your senses are more acute. As my voice comes through this system, you might also be very aware of other sounds within the room that you're in. And as we continue with this practice, just allowing any sounds that come into your space, just allowing them to be welcomed. Can't control these things, so let's just have an open acceptance of whatever comes in to be part of the practice today. And for you, that might be the sound of a dog barking. It could be the sound of the doorbell. It could be the sound of radio playing, family members shouting. It could even be the sound of traffic in the distance. Or perhaps there's birdsong. Or a ticking clock. Just noticing the sounds that surround the external body and allowing them to be there. And as you're sitting, just to notice a very gentle movement of your breath. So we're not going to do any breath counting today. So your breath can flow freely. Notice how the inhale arises. Subtle movement around the nostrils perhaps as you breathe in. Notice how the inhale just gently finds its way to where it needs to go. And there's a momentary pause between the breaths before your exhale just gently finds its way out. There's no pushing involved here, no force required. Your breath is just freely flowing. And we know from previous practices that the breath is always there for us to bring our mind's attention towards. Particularly if we're feeling quite busy in our thoughts. You can concentrate on the movement of the breath. And we'll just travel with the breath a little bit here. So again, observing the arrival by the nostrils. Noticing how the breath then moves the abdominal area and the ribs. Notice how your clothing changes, maybe expanding and contracting as the breath leaves and arrives. And then we spend a lot of time focusing on big belly breathing, soft belly breathing. As you breathe, just notice how the back of your body responds to the inhalation. And the exhalation. And the pause in between. Perhaps the back of the body feels like it gets a little wider and broader and longer, more expansive as we inhale. And as we exhale, there is that opposite movement of coming in and coming smaller, narrower, not quite so long in the spine perhaps or the back, very subtle. Just noticing the way that the back of your body is being breathed with no effort on your part. And your feet are resting on the floor. Your bottom is resting on the chair. And your attention is taken to the back of your body, breathing. And maybe having a sense of the back of the body, perhaps even softening a little with each inhale, with each exhale, perhaps being a little lighter. In some practices, the back of the body represents the past. The spine represents the present, and the front of the body, the future, what comes. And maybe softly breathing in down the back of the body, letting go of anything from the past that you feel like you might be holding on to at the moment. Letting go. Exhaling and inviting a lightness to the whole of the back of your body, including the back of the legs and the soles of the feet, back of arms, and the back of your head. Now we're softly sitting and breathing. Softly sitting and breathing. And then we're going to bring our attention just gently back to the spine. The spine provides us with stability and structure, but also flexibility. So maybe just take a moment with your breathing here to recognize the work that your spine does to keep you upright, but also to help you be flexible in life. Your spine houses your nervous system, the energy house, communicating to all parts of the body, into the brain. Nerves arrive through the spine, so sitting tall, we allow the nervous system to find its space and perhaps be easier in communicating to the brain. Maybe having some gratitude for the spine, a core part of your body, your being, and inviting your breath down the length of the spine to the tailbone, perhaps on the inhale and on the exhale, leaving up the length of your spine. And just noticing how that feels as a visualization. And if it doesn't work for you, you can just let it go and breathe. Feeling your feet on the floor and your bottom rested on the chair. Softly sitting and breathing. And then we take our mind's focus to the front of the body. Again, softly sitting and breathing. And just inviting that breath to perhaps influence and soften the front of the body, letting go of any tension that you might feel around the face and the jaw, the throat and the neck. And the tension that you might be feeling across the upper part of the chest, down the arms and the hands. Softening any areas of tension around the ribs, the diaphragm, the belly and the organs inside. Softening the lower belly and the pelvic area. And softening down the front of the legs to the front of the feet, to the tips of your toes. Softly sitting and breathing. With full awareness, noticing how the front of your body is being breathed. Not needing to change your breath in any way. And notice Notice gently the movement here of the area around the chest bone. So underneath the chest bone, huddled and cuddled by the lungs, is the heart. The remaining part of the sit, I'm going to visualize breathing in a white light that works for you. This white light is going to help to clear the mind, to clear any tensions at all around the heart area and the lung area. Inviting a sense of peace and unity with this white light, clearing the mind and the lungs and the heart of any tension, and inviting peace. Our fingertips resting, tip of the thumb and the index finger, are about like joining into one center, unifying us as individuals, and also the other health benefits that it can bring. So this white light arriving on the inhalation, cleansing, bringing peace to your mind, to your heart, to your soul. And think of this white light as topping up loving kindness towards yourself. And each time you sit and breathe and meditate, giving yourself, your physical, mental, energetic, emotional and spiritual body a little bit more energy, a little bit more dose of this healing light, this calming light, cleansing light. It is possibly the kindest thing that you could do for yourself, to sit and meditate. Continue breathing in that white cleansing light. Feeling your feet on the floor, bottom on the seat. The crown of your head gently rising towards the sky, perhaps opening up to even more light above. Feeling your feet on the floor, resting gently sitting and breathing. The mind focuses on the movement of the breath and that white light cleansing and bringing peace. And maybe with the next inhalation, you could invite that cleansing white light into the body, into every single cell, down the length of the arms to the tips of your thumbs and fingers, and down the length of your legs to your feet and your toes, and all the way down the spine and back up. And inviting to the corners of the eyes and the mouth a little inner smile, knowing that today you're celebrating this 40-day practice of meditation together, rewiring our brains for health, compassion, and sharing some loving kindness with ourselves so we can share with others. Allowing your fingertips to release, place the palms either down or leave them open, facing upwards. And very gently, when you're ready, maybe have a wriggle of the shoulders, a wriggle of the spine, wriggle of the jaw. Scrunch the eyes up on the inhale, and slowly exhale with a sigh, and open the eyes. As we bring this final guided meditation to a close. So there we have it. That's our longest sit that we've done so far. And I've guided you through that practice by and large. I hope that this campaign has given you some insights into how you can playfully incorporate a meditation practice into your everyday life. If you haven't got 20 minutes, then you're probably going to be able to do 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So again, it's just committing to this practice, knowing that you are absolutely rewiring yourself for health and compassion, and muscle memory, like muscles of the body, just needs to be conditioned. So a little every day. First thing in the morning is the best time, or maybe you might like to try it just before you go to bed as you're on the wind down for sleep. This is a lifetime practice, so I don't want you to think that you get to day 40 and then it all stops. So there's lots of reading material out there. I will be creating more training, and there's certainly lots more that I can share. If you want to just revisit the YouTube channel, then feel free, and do share this information on. This is a really helpful resource for anyone who is struggling out there at the moment, or perhaps they've just got into bad habits. Maybe they've meditated before and they've gotten into habit of forgetting what it can give them. So share it on, put comments in the boxes if you're happy to do that. And I look forward to working with you again in the future. This is Jo. You can find me at www.joannebull.com. YouTube channel is Joanne Bull Yoga and Wellbeing. It has been my absolute pleasure to share this with you. So I'm going to say a thank you in the yogic way by bringing together the palms in front of us and bowing the head. Keep well and remember to stay calm. I'll see you very soon.